Hey DJ, it's Monday. You're off. Take it easy.
No, today's a work day. Music Monday. Let's go. So the topic I wanted to discuss today was how I prioritize my Mondays. What I do on Mondays after gigging throughout the weekend. Um, Mondays is I look at that as my Music Monday, and here's what I mean by that. So after DJing on Friday and Saturday night, there are always tracks that I come across because I try to play different stuff all the time. I try to mix it up a little bit. And in doing so, you're going to come across those edits that really aren't too DJ friendly. You know what I mean? Usually it's old school jams. It might be something from the 70s or 80s where it's not a beat machine. When it was produced, it's an actual drummer. So you want something more DJ friendly, if you will, to mix in if you're going to play that track. So Mondays, I use Mondays as the opportunity to make those edits. And I use DJ Studio to do so. In DJ Studio, I can load up the track in mashup mode and I can dissect it. Using stems, I could isolate the drums, isolate acapellas, etc. Just make it more and rearrange parts of the track to make it more DJ friendly for myself. So I use Mondays for that. I also use Mondays as a chance to get new music. Now check this out. What I've noticed, Beat Source, I think BPM Supreme does this too. On Friday, you'll get an email, new tracks for the weekend. Guess what? Friday is too late. Friday's too late. Why send me tracks on Friday, hours before I'm about to go out and gig? I really can't use them because I really don't like to spin tracks that I'm not familiar with, because I like to know how to get in and out of them. There are exceptions, of course, but familiarity helps out a lot when you're spinning tracks. So notifying me on Friday of the new tracks for the weekend, I get it. It makes marketing sense, I guess. It makes, weekend, here's your tracks. But no, I'm a pro DJ. I need leeway to properly organize these songs, to properly set up my cue points, to properly put them in the right crates even. I mean, just because Pitbull or Cardi B has a new track out doesn't mean that I want to spin it immediately. I mean, sometimes, like I say, there are exceptions, and you have to feed the beast. If everybody's asking for the new Cardi B, guess what? You might want to play it, even if it did just drop, if you will. So, Music Management Mondays. That's what I use Mondays for. To edit tracks from the weekend, also to add tracks to my library, and also just to manage my files altogether. If I notice that there's a lot of repetitive things going on, for instance, if I'm looking up a random track and I'm thinking I never play these tracks. Let's just use Pitbull for an example. Pitbull Cali Ocho, I played that this weekend. I haven't played that in a long time, but for the Latin set I was in, it just made sense. But as I punched up Cali Ocho, I must have had 20, 30 different remixes or whatever. I don't use those. So I kind of make myself a mental note, hey, on Monday, go in and eliminate some of this clutter. So that way you work faster, you work more efficient, and I don't spend as much time scrolling, if you will. So Music Management Mondays. What do you do on your Mondays? What do you do as far as your music management? I don't have all the answers. I'm just sharing some of my knowledge and some of what I do with you, and maybe it might help somebody else out there. But I'm always open to suggestions. Smart crates. I know somebody out there is yelling smart crates. Smart crates are cool if all your songs are tagged properly. If you don't have proper tags on your songs, if your songs don't have the genre, if your songs don't have all the information that you would need to sort properly into smart crates, just because the song is 124 doesn't mean I want to throw it in a folder with all my other 124 BPM songs. Because guess what? that folder would also have 124 country, with 124 Latin, 124 pop, 124 hip hop. I think I want to be a little more discerning than that as far as management of my music files. So Smart Crates works if you can properly get your songs tagged. Yeah, it's an efficient way to auto sort your library, if you will. But my library, like I tell my students all the time, from week to week, when you sit down in the chair in the office and we have our weekly meeting, weekly class, first thing I ask them is, how's your library coming along? Because that's what's going to make or break you. When you're in front of the audience and you have to play and it's go time, how quickly you can access the music that you want when it comes to your head. I try to stay 2 or 3 songs ahead of the crowd, but you can't do that if you're not properly organized, because you're constantly searching for tracks. You don't have time to connect with the audience. You don't have time to make announcements. You don't have time to recognize birthdays. You don't have time to give shout outs to groups in the house that may come in and support you weekly. You don't have time to hang out with your buds and do whatever. So once you hit play, you got 2 minutes max nowadays, because quick mixing. So maybe you're out by the second verse, second hook. So yeah, managing your music. This should be done during the week so that when you go live on the weekends, you actually can play and have that freedom when you play. I also use Monday as a point to address any gear situations. So this weekend, I promised myself due diligence that I would use Algoriddim DJ the entire weekend, and I did. Now, in doing so, of course, I found things that need to be addressed with the software and or with my equipment. Now, Algoriddim DJ just had announced full support with the new update. Guess what? Updates. Algoriddim DJ does updates, people. How about that? And they're frequently. But I'll get off that high horse. We know who we're talking about. But in the new update, Algoriddim DJ now supports the visual displays on the jog dials for the REV7. So this weekend I was taking it through its course, if you will, to see how Algoriddim DJ would hold up in a pro setting, playing before my crowd all weekend long. Now there are some things that I figured out I need to do. That on Monday I do those things. One of those things is, from what I'm told, and I'll be researching this today, again on Monday, that you can map Algoriddim DJ the way you want it. So there's a lot of things on my REV7 that I have mapped in Serato, things that help me with my workflow. I did not have those available in Algoriddim DJ, without doing some hunting anyways to make it work. So today I'll be going through, connecting the controller and making sure that I have all those shortcuts, all those MIDI things addressed and taken care of, so that if I do decide to use this program again live, it'll be ready to go. And also I need to know how to do it anyways, because I have to teach it to my students. The REV7, I can't not talk highly enough about it. This device is recognizable by Serato, Rekordbox, Virtual DJ, and Algoriddim DJ. So one device, and you can play on 4 different softwares. So I'll be doing a review on Algoriddim's DJ and how it went for the weekend, and you can catch that video at the end of this video. But like I said, I spent the whole weekend with it, so I will have to make some tweaks today when I sit down with my controller and my laptop and see if I can't make some adjustments to get it to work more tightly with my controller. So it's your boy DJ XL, DFW DJ School. Practice, 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 and practice some more. Peace.